Hey, I'm making this video because this weekend I'm going hiking at Lone Star Trail here in kind of north of Houston, I think it is, but I'm in San Antonio. I'm testing out a bunch of gear that I haven't used. I've used a little bit of it, but I'm preparing to hike the Superior Hiking Trail from Duluth up to the Canadian border. So I just trying to dial in some of my like backpacking skills, testing out some equipment, and I had to replace some stuff that got stolen. I've using a tent instead of a van. Obviously, can't bring a van on the trail. So things like that. So yeah, I'm excited for this weekend and gonna test some stuff out. Here's my lineup, what I have so far. So here I got a bunch of different food and water, and then a little fanny pack with a pocket knife and notepad. Of course, the jet boil for the food and the bear can, some extra garbage bags. Yeah, I'm testing this out, just make sure everything works. Looks like it's working great. And then for electronics, real simple. It's just going to be my phone, a headlamp, and then that extra battery. Some toiletry items there. I still need to add like a toothbrush. And then for sleeping, I'm testing out that Black Diamond tent. I've set it up in my room, but obviously never slept in it. It kind of seems like it might be a little unstable, but we'll see when I actually have the guy lines in the ground or around rocks or trees or whatever. And then foam sleeping pad, so I don't have to deal with blowing one up or getting a hole, because I had one of those before, but I wasn't that great. And then a new luxury item is this pillow here. I'm excited to test that out because I've never really used that. Then I just have this 30-degree sleeping bag. So that's pretty much my sleeping system. And then here is a pretty small 30-liter, it's the Arc'teryx FL30. It's a pack designed for ice climbing, so it's waterproof. I tested that to its limits because I filled it up with air and then wore it as a backpack down a river, and that was actually super fun, and everything inside stayed dry even though that was completely merged. But I will say whatever was in this pocket did get wet, but everything in the main compartment with the roll top stayed totally dry. And then these are designed for ice climbing tools and like putting your crampons here, but I modified it by adding this like little net material and some like old 550 quarter. Actually, I think these are shoelaces. But these are sweet because I'll be able to put all my water bottles there. So those will be easy access and not inside the main bag, which will kind of save space. And then I think I'm gonna put my sleeping pad here. And then the trash bag is to be a backpack liner for like the sleeping bag. And then clothes are just real simple. It's just gonna be shorts, t-shirt, socks, my ultras. And then it might rain, so I'm just gonna bring a rain jacket and then a puffy for nighttime. And then if I really need pants, I'm gonna throw some extra leggings in there. Yeah, pretty simple. I'll show a little clip with everything packed up, and then obviously more to come when I'm on the trail. All right, cool. So now we got everything packed up, and this is what it looks like. Here's the stuff I'll be wearing. Once that's charged up, there's a nice front pocket right here where that'll fit into nice and easy. Got my poles and water bottles on the sides. I don't think I'll bring that Nalgene, but I'm gonna upgrade this to the bigger smart water bottle. It just fits in there a little better. And then, yeah, everything's good. I got my toiletries. There's like a little secret pocket back here, so that has easy access. The bear can and the jet boil kind of make it look weird on top, but everything is pretty nice. I got the sleeping bag on the bottom. I will say about this Arc'teryx backpack, it's like really light and minimal, and there's no frame or anything. There's like a little tiny pad in the back, and then it has just this thin kind of webbing hip belt. Just to see, it's like about 1 inch thick, and then these just super thin backpack straps. But just the way it's designed and shaped, this is the most comfortable backpack that I've actually ever used. And I've even done rucks with it where I loaded it up with like 40 pounds. And like I've done a lot of rucking in the military, and then just like a lot of long approaches for rock climbing with heavier packs. And like I've tried all kinds of different ones, and like by far that thing is my favorite backpack. Yeah, but yeah, everything looks good and looks like it fits, so. All right, sweet. Made it here to the Lone Star hiking trail. There's my pack all ready to go. I made a minor adjustment. I put the bear can on the outside of the pack, which allowed me to roll up this top a lot better so everything in there can stay dry. And there's actually more room in there for probably another base layer, some socks, my water filter. I was thinking that pack would be too small for hiking the LSHT, doing like a full-on through hike. By the way, the LSHT starts in Duluth and goes up to the Canadian border, and it's about 310 miles long, and takes people usually 2 to 4 weeks, but mostly it takes people 3 weeks. So yeah, that's kind of part of why I'm doing this, just to kind of dial in my systems and prepare for that. One concern I do have is I bought the medium-sized bear can, and I think it might be a little small for many days, but I'll have to kind of figure out the logistics for all the towns that I can stop in on the LSHT, and hopefully if they're frequent enough, then that bear can might be enough to get by. Yeah, so I'm ready to get started on this hike. Yeah, so right now it's about 50 degrees, so when I started I took my sweats off and threw them in my pack. Figured those would be nice for sleeping, and just in case the leggings aren't quite enough for tonight. And since putting the bear can on top added a lot of space, I figure why not add some sweats. So this is the Lone Star Trail in Texas. It's a point-to-point trail that's, I think it's like 92 miles long, and I'm not doing the whole thing. I parked at Trailhead 3, and then I'm just gonna go till I'm trying to hit like 15 or so miles, and then find a spot to camp, and then kind of hang out in the morning, and then just come back, just like an out and back quick trip. Yeah, and there is rain nearby, but it's kind of like at the tail end of the rain. The trail is a little bit moist in some places, but it's really not bad. It's a really nice trail. Yeah, Looks like it is sprinkling after all, so tossed on the old rain jacket and gonna eat this tomato since I didn't know what else to do with it. It's like an apple. Watch out for crocs. Well, I'm 4 hours in, and it's been good. I just finished the book, the audiobook Mastery by Robert Greene. And man, I thought that was a great book. It talks about various people in various fields and their journey on, how their early development went, and then what interested them, and then how they became masters in their field. Talks about people like Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and it has modern examples like a fighter jet pilot, one of the professors who deals with robotics and neuroscience. So they kind of blended two fields, and just all these great examples. And I was reading about it online, and like some of the complaints were like, it's vague. But I think that's like the beauty in the book, because it can apply to anybody in any field. And then it gives you several examples in several fields. And it's people with, whether they grew up in a wealthy family, whether this was 100 years ago or 50 years ago. And it just like has all these different situations, and it gives you a ton of examples. And I think that's the best part about it, is it's giving examples. And like one of my biggest takeaways from it is, obviously before you become a master, you have to go through an apprenticeship. And I think it's just cool hearing about all the different apprenticeships of all these common house names that we know about. And it's like, oh wow, it's like it kind of brings these like godlike figures that you think are just like they were born gifted and all these things, but it's like they just took different opportunities and played to their strengths, and then devoted a lot of time to master their craft. And to me, I think that's fascinating. I've always had an appreciation for, quote, masters. So I definitely highly recommend the book. And as far as audiobooks go, I recommend it because I've tried to listen to a lot of different audiobooks, and I usually have a hard time. But that one was done really well. So, yeah. All right. I found where I'm going to sleep tonight. Right in there. got the jet boil ripping. Thing had a hard time starting. I think I might start easier with a lighter because that little igniter was barely making a spark. So yeah, once that's done, I'm gonna have this lasagna. Been snacking on these Cliff Blocks. These things are really good. I used to eat these climbing a lot. And I gotta make some tea too, so should be good. Tent's right there. It actually went up really easy. The stakes went in because the ground is nice and soft here. Yeah. All in the tent, testing out this pillow. Pretty sweet. Never really used one of these before. And then I'm gonna do some reading. Python Pocket reference, because I'm trying to learn how to program. While I'll do that, I'll sip on tea, and then put the jet boil by the bear can, and then brush my teeth before I go to bed. But yeah, I tried to learn Python a few months back, and I did like an online course from Udemy. Then I just kind of fell off because of my schedule and just whatever, normal life. And then I started like video gaming a lot, and I just felt like I was kind of wasting my time just being a consumer and like paying for games and skins and like just spending way too much time. And I'm like, man, imagine if I put this time to something useful. And then I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to learn Python because like I have some like cool app ideas I want to build. Plus, like, I feel like I haven't. I feel the need to learn something new. You know, like I have an engineering background, and we're taught about learning and learning how to learn. And I just feel like I was like, man, I really need to do something technical to kind of satisfy that desire. And I was like, well, why not Python? Because it's like all I need is my computer, and I can like ask ChatGPT stuff. There's tons of YouTube content, and then like once I'm at a certain level of proficiency, maybe I'll do like either a boot camp or go back to school for it, because it's just something I think is useful. And I think it's gonna always be part of our society. Like, think about driverless cars, data-driven marketing. Just people think AI is gonna take over, but it's like who's gonna tell the AI what to do? It's like people who have these skills. So I think it's something worth pursuing. And even if I don't make a career out of it, I think it's a good thing to know, or at least understand, especially in this technical society we live in. Plus just problem solving and creativity that go along with it. It's like why not? All right. It rained a few times last night. Heard some coyotes. I got that jet boil to start a little bit easier this morning, but still shouldn't be that hard to start. Got some tea going, some like breakfast burritos type thing. Yeah, everything's packed up. The tent's a little bit bigger than how I originally had it packed, just because it was so wet and I didn't take the time to fold it up all nice, but pretty much the same. After breakfast, I'll have about a liter of water left. I just got to make the 15 miles back to the car. There's supposed to be like a big thunderstorm by noon, so I should be able to beat it as long as I don't really stop too much. But also maybe not, because I kind of took a lot of time getting breakfast ready. But either way, if it's just at the tail end, that's all right. But yeah, and then I took off all my sweats and stuff to kind of start not so warm. Oh, but yeah, hopefully it doesn't thunderstorm crazy. All right, taking probably my last rest, unless I have to stop to throw my rain jacket on. I think I have like 5 or 6 miles to go. I should be getting right to my car right when that storm hits. Yeah, it's been nice and damp, but good. Wool socks and the Ultras is a sick combo. I saw a big group of like 30 people hiking through this muddy section. It's random. These look like wintergreen. But they're not. They don't smell like it. That would have been the most exciting part of this whole thing. I don't know what those are, but they're not wintergreen. And there's lot 3, and there's the car. 15 miles in, 15 miles out, Lone Star hiking trail. I think it's time to eat some pizza.